might fuck his bitch, no Bobby bitch. Bitch, I'm gnarly, bitch. I watch that tummy rip.
What is up, you guys? It is Jay the Great back with another video. I hope y'all are doing swell and well. Of course, this is another combat sports related video, as you can tell by the title. This is top 10 pound for pound UFC fighters currently. Of course, I know this is subjective, so not all of you are going to agree with me, and that's okay. Let me know why you don't agree. I'm basically going to give you my top 10 and why I believe each person belongs in their respected positions. I'm going to give you their not only their accomplishments, but break down as best I can their skill sets and basically why I think they belong where they belong. But if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We are only getting better from here. We are a family. I do all kinds of videos, not just sports related. It's a little bit for everyone, I think, or at least I'm trying to make it that way. But please, if you enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy. And let me know what you think, if you agree, if you disagree. If you want to talk shit, fuck it, let me know. I am interested to hear your perspective. And before I begin the countdown, I just want to let you know there will be some video clips. I'm going to be putting them up to 1.25 speed to avoid copyright. You know how YouTube goes. But yeah, I'm going to have images and video clips just for visuals, you know, because this is a fucking PowerPoint. This is a goddamn video, and we're going to do it right. So let's get right to it. So before we get into this list, pound for pound list, I had to give an honorable mention to none other than to my man, Israel Stylebender Adesanya. He just missed the cut just due to the fact that he has not faced as much world-class opposition as the rest of these guys on this list. But he's no different because he is still a killer himself. He's just had an amazing fight with Kevin Gastelum in UFC 236. It was, from what I heard, one of the greatest fights of all time. Unfortunately, I didn't get to witness it. I only saw the highlights. But of course, like we all know, all us fighting fans, you don't get the same feeling when you don't watch it live. But yeah, he's an amazing striker. 81-5 as a professional kickboxer. 17-0, as you could tell by the record, which I have put on the image. And I think he really has what it takes to become a superstar. He has that it factor, and he has not been, you know, blinded by the bright lights that he is currently under, because he has the potential to be a goddamn superstar. So that's why he's an honorable mention. He will be fighting Whittaker in UFC 243, I believe, in October, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe he gives a good fight. Will he win it? I'm not going to say, because this is a top 10 pound for pound list, not a prediction video. But yeah, man, I think he really has what it takes. I believe he will be top 10 pound for pound very soon. And yeah, man, I just had to give a honorable mention to this man. He just missed the cut. But let's get into number 10. At number 10, we have Colby Covington. Man, and I know a lot of people are going to give me shit for this because people don't like Colby Covington. I get it. But it's an act, man. I think he's a good guy. Just cut him some slack, but that's besides the point. He is a fighter, man. He can fight. The man can fight. He's 15-1. He's beaten Rafael Dos Anjos. He's beaten who he last fought, Robbie Lawler, Damian Maia, and he's destroyed these guys, man. Like, has unrelenting pace, is a mauler, has great wrestling, was an All-American wrestler at Oregon, and he's currently the Intercontinental Champion at welterweight. He just has a really good pace, man, a really high volume of strikes, and a really high volume of activity during a fight, and we saw that at its best in his last bout against Robbie Lawler. He just completely outclassed the guy, dominated him. And Robbie Lawler is a Hall of Famer. He's no bum. He's world class, and arguably a top 3 welterweight of all time. He's also goddamn wars with Roy McDonald, Tyron Woodley. He's a damn animal, and Kobe made him not look like an animal. That's just the reality. And putting all emotions aside and all politics aside, the man can fight. You know, he can wrestle, and he's a good striker, a very, very decent striker. You know, and I think he deserves a title shot. He's definitely a top 10 pound for pound fighter currently. If he wins the belt, he'll be even higher. This is reality, whether we like him or not. He's a great fighter, great control on the ground, and just very good all-around fundamentals. I think he's just a great MMA fighter, period. The man can fight, and I think he belongs right here. He could and definitely move his way up if he keeps winning, man. He looks very dominant, especially in his last bout. Let's go on to the next one. And at number 9, we got my man Robert Whittaker. He's the current middleweight UFC champion of the world. And although he's only been a middleweight for about 9 years, I think he's the best in the division. I think he's the best. He beat one of the best, probably the second best, in Yoel Romero, who I thought won his last fight, by the way. That's another, I guess Paulo Costa is my opinion, but that's another story. But yeah, this man has great power, is very well-rounded as a fighter, and has a champion mentality, which every champion needs, no matter who you are, which we saw on full display against Yoel Romero when he fought him twice. The only nick on him is his injuries. He could have probably more fights and a stronger case, and maybe even being higher on this list. But yeah, he's very well-rounded. And this goddamn champion, a class act, and a very good wrestler. In fact, he is an Australian wrestling champion. He won gold in that competition. So he's definitely got a significant, formidable ground game. And yeah, man, I think he's just a very, very good fighter in general. Very well-rounded. Like I said, great power, great chin to take punches from a goddamn monster, genetic freak like Yoel, son of God Romero. I mean, that's something. He's a brown bear in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I think he's just the best middleweight in the game right now. I really do. He's fighting Israel Adesanya, actually, at UFC 243, if I'm not mistaken, soon, October 5th. I'm definitely going to check it out. That's going to be a very interesting matchup. But yeah, man, he's number 9 on this list, rightfully so. Honestly, I haven't seen much of his fights. I kind of got put onto him when he fought Yoel Romero. But hey, I'm not going to make a list based off what I've seen, because obviously who gets to see all the pay-per-view fights? Besides rich people that can afford all of them, because I'm definitely not rich. But yeah, man, yeah, number 9, Robert Whittaker. At number 8, we got Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman, who definitely belongs on this list. He's the current welterweight champion of the world, and he beat arguably the best welterweight of all time in Tyron Woodley in extraordinary fashion. It was pure dominance, and every round could have been 10-8 round. Let's just say that. Every round could have been a 10-8 round. It was that dominant of a performance. But yeah, the man he's definitely the best in the division. He is an NCAA Division II wrestler, so he has a formidable wrestling game. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So all around, he has a hell of a ground game, and he's definitely used that over his career. He is a high-pace, high-volume type of fighter, kind of similar to these other guys like Covington and Ferguson, and seems like that's an important attribute to have to be a champion. And this man definitely possesses that attribute. I believe him versus Covington is a fight to make. That's just a side note. I'd like to see that fight to really see who's the best welterweight on the planet. But the man has pretty decent power. He only has one knockout, I heard, in his UFC career. But it doesn't really need it, because he's been smashing everyone, including a GOAT like Woodley. And he did that in extraordinary fashion, which is very, very unbelievably impressive to just completely neutralize and dominate someone like that. But yeah, man, Kamaru Usman is definitely a top 10 pound for pound fighter. And I think he belongs. This is a nice spot for him. He's 15-1. And he doesn't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. He's very well rounded. And I think he's going to be a great champion. And if he beats Covington, he'll move his way up. You know, it's between him and Covington right now. And whoever wins can move their way up in the rankings as one of the best fighters on the planet. So number 8, Kamaru the Nigerian Nightmare Usman. And deservingly so. On to the next. At number 7, we got Tony Ilkokui Ferguson, who is the current Intercontinental Lightweight Champion. And who, in my opinion, has the best shot at dethroning the current lightweight champion, who is Khabib Nurmagomedov, who will be on later in this list, as a matter of fact. But this man is an amazing fighter, quite possibly has the best cardio in the UFC. It's amazing how long this man can go and how high volume and high pace he is. The only guys that can really, compete with his cardio would be someone like Covington, maybe. But he is a black belt jiu-jitsu practitioner from 10th Planet. That's where he trains out of, under the amazing Eddie Bravo, who fucking rivals the Gracie family as far as his knowledge on Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So this is a very high-level black belt, because, to get one from that man, who's an amazing Brazilian jiu-jitsu practitioner, is amazingly impressive. And Ferguson has shown his amazing ability with his really really efficient dart strokes and his his triangles and his high level ground game. He is a collegiate wrestler, and this man can just straight up fight, man. He's very creative with his long rangey arms. He's amazing elbows, amazing striking, and he is known for having the best ground game as far as being on his back. So he could mess you up on his back. He'll tear you up even on his back when you have him on his back. And that's why I think that's going to be significant when he fights Khabib. And I think it's going to be a very good fight. I don't know who's going to win, to be honest. That's going to be good because we haven't seen him fight. And I don't think Khabib's faced a man like this, to be honest. It'll be the first time I faced somebody with this this mindset, this crazy mindset that this man possesses. And yeah, I think he definitely deserves to be here on this list and can easily move his way up if he happens to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov. It's amazing how some people are built, man. This man's mind is a goddamn fortress, man. We've seen it time and time again with people he's faced and how far he's gone to win a fight. I mean, the man, for fuck's sake, he fought after just 6 months of rehab, which he did by himself when he tore his, I believe it was his LCL from a freak accident. He came back and beat Anthony Pettis, a game Anthony Pettis, in a war. And that's just stuff that you're just born with, man. You can't be taught that. But yeah, definitely number 7, Tony Ikokui Ferguson. On to the next. At number 6, we got Max Blessed Holloway, who's the current 145 featherweight champion of the UFC. And yes, although he did lose at 155 to Dustin Poirier, and his not his last fight, but the one before that, he is the clear-cut best featherweight on the planet, and in my opinion, the best of all time. He's beaten Aldo twice. He beat a very, very amazingly talented Brian Ortega in a very impressive fashion with his high pace, high volume style, and his fluidity, and his striking and his footwork. He could switch stances mid strikes, which is very, very impressive, and it shows how long he's been working on his craft and how easy it comes to him when it comes to striking and footwork and angles and all that. And he is definitely the best in the division right now. He actually has a fight scheduled against some Russian guy, Volonsky or something, which I just got news of yesterday. So we'll see how that guy matches up with this man, because he's very, very dominant. He's been very dominant since being champion, and he's definitely the best in the division. And his main skill set is definitely his striking, his fluidity, like I said. That's his main attribute, his gift. He's definitely blessed when it comes to that, man. He could just really put the pressure on you and not take his foot off the gas. He's a very tough dude, man. And that fight at 155 was very close. He did lose the fight because of Dustin's power, but the man can fight, man. He can take a punch, and he's just a fighter's fighter. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he definitely belongs right here on this list. This is a good spot for him. I think he's a very elite, world-class fighter and class act. But yeah, number 6, Max Blessed Holloway. On to the next. First on the top 5 pound-for-pound rankings, it is Stipe Miocic, the current heavyweight champion of the UFC. And in my opinion, is the greatest heavyweight of all time. I used to think it was Kane. That's a close one. But what I can't say definitively is this guy is the most accomplished heavyweight of all time. 4 title defenses, and he beat one of the best of all time in Daniel Cormier in amazing fashion. It was a war. It was close, but he made a championship adjustment with the body, with the hook to the body, and did what he had to do and got the job done like a champion does. He did get knocked out the first fight they had, but hey, man, he came back like a champion and did what he had to do, and he's been against the best of the best, and has done what he has to do. I'm talking about Junior Dos Santos, Francis motherfucking Ngannou, who's an animal and maybe the hardest hitter in UFC history. And Stipe has rose to the occasion, man, and is beating these men. And has been in there. He's done that, and he is an amazing fighter, tough as they come. I believe a collegiate level wrestler. Very, very good wrestler, very good striker, very well-rounded heavyweight, great gas tank, very well-rounded, very, very well-rounded, man. Enough to beat Daniel Cormier, man, who was undefeated at heavyweight and is beating some monsters like Josh Barnett and Ryan Bader. This man is beating the cream of the crop, you know what I'm saying? So Stipe beat him. He beat him. And I believe he's the best of all time. As far as heavyweights, he's the best. He's the best. And I want to see what's next for the man. You know, he just beat who I thought if Daniel would have won, I would have said he's the best, and he probably would have been in the spot, or maybe a little higher. But yeah, man, he is the best right now. He's actually a Golden Gloves champion as well, which I didn't know until I was doing research for this video, admittedly. So the man has some great striking, man, and we saw that. He took down Daniel with some beautifully placed body hooks, and so yeah, definitely deserves to be on this list. Definitely deserves his spot. So number 5, Stipe Miocic. Under number 4. At number 4, we have Amanda the Lioness Nunes, who is the only ever female 2-weight division champion, holding the belts in the bantamweight division and the featherweight division, and who I can easily say is the greatest female fighter ever of all fucking time. All time. And it's not even fucking close at this point, to be honest with you. She has beaten basically every legend, from Ronda Rousey to Chris Cyborg, who people thought was the best of all time. Holly Holm, Miesha Tate, Valentina Shevchenko twice. Man, she is the queen of MMA. She is the best of all fucking time, and is definitely deserving of this spot right now, here and now. And beat Holly Holm in such an impressive fashion. Her last fight was against Holly. It was so impressive due to the fact that Ronda Rousey, she beat Ronda Rousey, right? Holly Holm beat Ronda also with a kick to the face. And then Amanda does that to her. So she beats Ronda, and then she beat the girl that beat Ronda with the kick that girl beat Ronda with. That's amazing, man. That's extraordinary. She is an amazing fighter. Amazing power, and a black belt in jiu-jitsu. This girl just has it all, man. She has the heart and the skill set, man. She's quite the combo. Like, her skills mix very well. And Chris Cyborg, who I thought was gonna beat Amanda, underestimated this girl, man. She fucking got leveled and starched in the first round. Chris Cyborg, man, who does that to everyone else. She did that to Chris. That is amazing. That is just extraordinary. That's amazing. She's definitely a top 5 pound for pound fighter on the planet, and the best female fighter on the planet. No question. But yeah, man, this is number 4 on this list. Amanda the Lioness Nunes. As far as females, it ain't even close, man. She's the best. She is the best. So number 4, Amanda the Lioness Nunes. At number 3, we got Henry the Messenger Cejudo, who is currently the bantamweight and flyweight division champion. So he's a 2-weight division champion. And he's beating some legends, man. He beat arguably the greatest MMA fighter ever in Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson. Fair and square, man. It was close, but it was fair and square. He fought very well, very high level. He was on his toes, man, and he got the job done. And then he fought TJ Dillashaw, came down in weight to face him, and starched him in 1 round while he was on EPO, which is a steroid he tested positive for. And so that's even more impressive. Because apparently the steroid is supposed to give you more red blood cells or something like that, so you don't get gassed as easily. Guess it didn't matter because Henry still starched him. Then, most recently, his most recent fight, he faced Marlon Moraes and beat him for the 135 vacant belt due to TJ testing positive, who was the champion before, and he got that belt. So, and that fight was impressive, man, because Marlon was working him at the first round, and he just got outwilled by Henry. He got outwilled, and Henry's championship mentality came out, his championship will came out, and he did what he had to do against the man and beat him, and it was very impressive, man. He's just a world-class championship level athlete, champion, you know, just Amazing wrestler and Olympic gold medalist, as a matter of fact. So he's an amazing wrestler, man. To do that, you got to be extraordinarily gifted, and definitely. And I believe he has underrated power, honestly, especially at flyweight, man. We saw that full display against TJ Dillashaw. He just exploded. Like if he bounced off a spring and boom, took him out, starched him. And even at 135, man, he had enough power to beat Marlon Moraes. Marlon had more power, obviously, because he was bigger. But you could see the power that Henry does possess. I believe it's underrated. But yeah, man, he definitely deserves to be here, and is arguably one of the best combat athletes of all time, just due to his accomplishments, man. And I know small guys get a bad rap because, people don't hit as hard. It's more technique. But hey, man, it's still competition, and this man is the cream of the crop, man. He is at the pinnacle. He is the man. He is the man right now in the UFC. 135, 125. He's the man to beat. Rightfully so, man. He deserves to be on this list very high up. So number 3, I got Henry the Messenger Cejudo. At number 2, we got Johnny Bones Jones. And if you're wondering why he's not at number 1, it's because of his last performance. Not that it was bad. It was not bad at all. It was good. But Thiago Santos, his former opponent, his last opponent, tore his knee, blew his knee out basically, and almost beat Jon. So that's the only reason he's not at number 1, because there's some questions, and they're definitely going to have a rematch. But that's besides the point. Jon Jones, in my opinion, put this list aside, is the greatest MMA fighter of all time to me. I think it's hands down, in my opinion. I believe, in my opinion, he's the best ever. He has damn near the perfect combination of not only physical attributes, but fight IQ. It's so damn high that this guy adapts mid-fight. He'll adapt mid-fight. That takes some fighters several years to do. And the fact that this man can do it just like that is pretty damn impressive. This shows what kind of a species he is, what kind of breed he is. And he is so damn good that in his 20s he was taking out legends, man. Hall of Famers, from Rashad Evans to Rampage Jackson to Shogun Rua. It's just the list goes on and on for this man. And he just unquestionably beats all of them, And I'm sure he's going to erase this one too against Thiago. I'm sure he's going to beat him. But definitely the greatest of all time, the current light heavyweight champion of the world, and basically there really is no one in that division besides his last opponent to challenge this man. He's been in there. He's been champ so long that there's a new wave coming to fight him, a new wave of fighters, and he's beating all those guys too, like Anthony Smith and all those dudes. But this guy is phenomenal, man. That's all I could say. That's all that could be said, really. He's a phenomenal fighter. Amazing creativity and fight IQ. He's not even an Olympic wrestler yet. He out-wrestled Daniel Cormier, who's an Olympic wrestler. He out-wrestles Olympic wrestlers and outstrikes amazing strikers like Alexander Gustafsson, who was, I think, a national champion boxer, Swedish boxer. And this guy just has the it factor and the physical attributes. You mix that in, it's fucking lethal, man. And we've seen that in his career, how lethal it could be, having that perfect combination of mental toughness, mental self-belief, self-confidence, and just amazingly genetic ability, God-given ability. So this man definitely belongs here. Right there, could have been number 1. If he would have beat Thiago in more dominant fashion, it would have been him at number 1. But yes, definitely Jon Jones, number 2. And side note, a fight I want to see him in, since Thiago tore his ACL, LCL, PCL, something like that, and his other knee I think is fucked up too. I want to see him fight at heavyweight against maybe Stipe Miocic. Who knows? But that's just a side note. But definitely belongs here at number 2. Johnny Bones Jones, number 2. At number 1, we got Khabib the Eagle Nurmagomedov. I mean, who else would you put at number 1 right now, man? After his recent performances, man, the man is phenomenal. He is a current lightweight champion of the UFC, 28-0 record. And honestly, I don't think he's lost a damn round, to be honest with you. He's just, as far as grappling, I believe he's the greatest grappler of all time in MMA history, in any organization. I mean, to my eye at least, this guy's phenomenal. He's not only one notch, he's several notches above the rest as far as grappling, man. He completely neutralizes you. And this is a very, very important thing I wanted to bring up about Khabib. Because of his amazing grappling, in a way, it kind of neutralizes a lot of elite strikers' ability to strike because they're so fearful or so mindful of this takedown that they're not as loose as they would be against someone who's not that high level of grappler and that known for taking people down. So I feel like people like Conor, like he almost knocked out Conor because, and I really think it's because Conor is so mindful of that takedown that he wasn't really himself as far as striking, and people like Barboza, like Poirier, strikers, just they're not the same when they fight him because they're so mindful of the takedown. And because of that, as a result, all of that, Khabib can be very, very loose with his striking. And you saw that when he almost knocked out Conor. You know, he's more loose, and I think he realizes that. I think he knows that. He knows that, definitely. So, yeah, man, he definitely deserves to be here. He's amazing. Amazing grappler, man. His transitioning, his technique, his takedowns, his efficiency, his gas tank, man, to be able to ground and pound you for 5 rounds with not break a sweat. That's just, he's a product of his environment. You know, he's a Russian from Dagestan. Tough place, tough guys, I imagine. He's been doing this his whole life, man. His whole life. There's literally a video of him wrestling a bear as a little kid and not getting messed up, you know. Like, it was a cub, obviously, but he was holding his own against the bear. Like, he knew how to wrestle at that age. He already looked phenomenal at that age. So, this guy is phenomenal, man. He's just a very, very class act, and he's a true martial artist, true wrestler, man. And his ability to neutralize you and break you, you could even see it in his opponent's eyes, like Barboza and Conor. You could just see them looking around like, oh my God, this is what he is. This is who he is. And he just does that with his mauling, this mauling that he just imposes on his opponent. Just really imposes his will like no one else I've ever seen as far as ground game, his grappling. He imposes his will on you. He just breaks your will, overwhelms you with his grappling and his takedowns. And by the 3rd round or 5th round, however long the fight is, you're just a shell of yourself. You're just kind of just laying there taking it, and you're like, wow, what is this? What? And let's just say he beat Dustin so bad that Dustin contemplated retirement. He destroyed him, man. That's really the only thing worse than that would be a knockout. In fact, it might be worse than a knockout because you could be asked to be for 5 rounds. So it's not like a lucky thing. It's pure skill and pure outclassing. You know, this is being purely outclassed. So that's a spirit breaker. So that's another component to his game. He just breaks you mentally, disheartening. You know, it's very disheartening, and it hurts your pride, man. Hurts your pride. But yeah, man, he's definitely number 1 right now. He's phenomenal. It has the potential to be the greatest of all time if he keeps improving and evolving as a fighter. But yeah, man, number 1, Khabib, the Eagle, Nurmagomedov. So there you have it, guys. My top 10 pound for pound UFC fighters currently. I hope you enjoyed that video, man. I put a lot of time into it. You know, I try to really make it to where you understand my thought process and my reasoning for why I have the guys where I put them. If you don't agree, please let me know. Or if you agree, let me know. Whatever you want to tell me, you know, in the comments or anywhere. You can contact me, let me know. Maybe the order's different. Maybe I missed somebody. Let me know, man. But yeah, man, I bring all kinds of videos. So if you're new to the channel, please check it out. Not just sports related, but comedies, things like that. I try to be the most versatile I can. And this, whatever pops. It's that simple. But yeah, man, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I hope you enjoyed that video. Share it with your friends, please, man. You know, we're trying to expand together. We're a family. Subscribe if you're new, like I said. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And yeah, man, this is Jay the Great signing out. Have a good one, y'all.
They catch me beating demons with a red Ferragamo belt. Have my witch do a hit, cast a spell, hit the shelf. Bag of shells, fairy tales, fuck the gypsy, I can't tell. Change.